this we will use some visual aids to get the story across because this story is crazy. So I took this off Football Forever because I think this is the perfect explanation of what's been happening. Instead of me just trying to read it, let me show you. All right, so it says Bengals first round defensive end Shemar, I think it's Shemar Stewart, could sit out the 2025 season and re-enter the 2026 NFL draft amid his contract dispute. Stewart, who left mandatory minicamp today with no progress made negotiations, is holding out because the Bengals want to include language allowing them to void guaranteed money if he's released during his rookie deal. Let's just stop right there. So the issue is he is holding out because the Bengals want to be able to save money if he's released during his rookie deal. The Bengals are a dumpster fire, and that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They're also widely credited as one of the cheapest teams in the NFL. And where there's smoke, there's fire. So just thoughts on just that little part of this big story, Casino.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering, is this just like a normal thing that most organizations do, or are the Bengals just being cheap as hell and they're doing this, right? And I think it's just, I don't know. I think again, I don't know the whole thing behind signings and this and that,
Yeah,
but
like
I'm
rookie
sure,
deals. Yeah.
yeah, but I am sure that not every team does this. And if I was him, I agree. I'd be like, yo, come on now. Like, here.
Yeah.
Also, on the caveat to that, also, you made it to the NFL. You were a first round like pick, like show up. Fucking show up.
Yeah. So let's continue. Under the collective bargaining agreement, Stewart can remain unsigned beyond the November 11th deadline if he sits out the entire 2025 season and re-enters the 2026 NFL draft. In this case, Stewart could be selected by any team other than the Bengals. Stewart, 21, could also request a trade, but the deadline is August 5th. After that, Stewart can't be traded by the Bengals at all in 2025, whether he signs or doesn't sign. Bengals head coach Zach Taylor wouldn't commit to Stewart being on the field for training camp, simply stating, I'm not going to make any predictions. The Bengals selected Stewart with the 17th pick in the April draft. So now we move to this, which if he does, so these are all of Stewart's options of the things we listed above. So if he does not sign a deal with the Bengals, he has until August 5th, like was just previously mentioned, to be traded. And after that, the Bengals couldn't trade him in this entire season. So basically, the first, I would say, deadline is August 5th, because if he wants to be traded and at August 6th he isn't, he has to sit out the entire season, or he would have to sign late and would have to wait until after week 10 to sign and still play this season. So if he signs past the previously mentioned deadline, he'd have to wait till week 10, which again, it's an 18-week season, so he'd miss over half of the season. Then the last three options, which aren't really three options because we can skip the next one and just say he can't really return to college because there would be a bunch of legal mumbo jumbo with the NCAA. So that's not really an option. He could, however, and especially for a guy who's 21, how much stock do you think there is in this option, which would be re-entering the draft? So sitting out this season and then re-entering the draft next year.
He could do that, but he better be ready to be like third, fourth round. People are
See,
gonna
I
pass
think
up
so
on him
too.
a lot. They're
I
like,
think
"Oh, he's trouble."
I think this could be one of those type of things where all the NFL owners would kind of band together and be like, we can't budge on this now, or this is a potential thing where this is one guy now, but 20
Be like
guys 3 years
be
from now.
like, nobody can pick him till the 6th round.
Yeah. But again, as we saw with the Deshaun Watson situation, it just takes one team. So if this guy was highly valued or highly recruited by one team in this year's draft, and then all of a sudden next year they can get him in a draft maybe they don't like anybody else. All of a sudden, again, it just takes one. It just takes one.
Mm,
And then the last two is he could play elsewhere. He could join the CFL or UFL, but that would mean the Bengals would still hold his NFL rights for 3 years. And then he could avoid the NFL draft entirely, sit out 2 years, and
yeah,
then
play
he would
CFL,
become a
UFL, you're gonna hurt yourself.
yeah, I think those last two options are I think the last three
3
options, returning
options.
to college,
He has
playing
he has one thing is demand a trade or work
yes.
or play.
I think the two most likely things are he either gets traded or he re-enters the draft next year. I
Yeah.
think
I don't think
again,
anything happens. I think Bengals just shove it up his ass.
well, also, I feel like if if you're having this big of problems with the Bengals at this moment and August 6th comes, you haven't been traded, why would you choose to sign late to where you can't play in week 10? Where in that instance, you could just wait a couple more months and then just re enter the draft, right? So at that point, like, why would you sign late when you've already had issues with the Bengals? Clearly, you don't want to play with the Bengals because they're
Yeah.
kind of
And
jerking
so
you
that's what
around.
it's what's gonna happen. He's gonna enter you're right. He'll enter the draft. It's gonna take one team, and then this is gonna start a snowball effect, and it's gonna happen every single year.